Well, I'm Tony Kerr. I'm the project coordinator of TFSR Cymru. I've been doing this for about more than 25 years. I was travelling in West Africa, and I came across lots of people working, trying to work with very few basic tools. And when I came back, I just happened to come across this organisation called Tools for Self-Reliance working in Southampton. And I went down to see them. I thought the idea was great. It's a matter of collecting tools from people around the country here who don't use them anymore. And we started a group up here in Krakow. And that was 1983, so that was nearly 30 years ago. That's a long time, isn't it? We travel around a bit in South Wales to sell our garden tools, and they're really sought after. So this is the time of year when we do all that, and as I said, that makes the money to fund our overseas operations. We've got a workshop out in Tanzania where we're employing 4 Tanzanians to do the work, and we ship out 1 container a year of tools which we check them over to make sure they're all complete, but they need refurbishing once they get out there. And that container, it holds the tools for the workshop, and it also has the toolkits which we refurbish here for Singida and Tanga regions. And I think this time there's probably going to be about 100 sewing machines, a mixture of treadle machines and hand machines, embroidery machines, zigzag machines, all sorts. And they basically go to women's groups. We obviously want to help women's groups in Tanzania, and the main way we do that is by sending them sewing machines.
This is Tool for Self-Reliance Sewing Machine Workshop. I'm the sewing machine manager, and we have 8 volunteers that work here. We refurbish about 150 machines a year. Anything from the old Singer sewing machines through to, this is also a Singer but a more modern one, through to more modern machines of other makes. Keep everybody in order, not that they need it, and just keep the place running really. That's my job, to make sure it all just keeps running. Everything's here for what everybody needs, whether it was make sure the machines are coming in through the door and going back out through the door, and everything's just here for everybody else. We do everything here from looking at them, seeing if they're clean, cleaning them. Our motto is, if you can use a screwdriver and a toothbrush, you can refurbish a sewing machine.
With the sewing machines, women can make children's uniforms, because strangely enough everyone in Tanzania, all the kids, they all wear school uniforms, so there's a lot of work involved in that. Once a year I go to Tanzania and I visit the people who've had the tools, and I'm always amazed at what they do with them. It doesn't take a lot of equipment to get people up and working. The problem is, in Tanzania you can buy tools, but they're mostly Chinese tools, which are just rubbish. They're worse than the Chinese tools we get here. I know a carpenter who he just got hold of a saw set. He used it once and it broke, and he didn't get his money back, and that took him a week's savings to buy. So really, the tools that people have lying around in their sheds and garages here, it means all the difference to people out in Tanzania.
The tools are all donated. They're all unwanted, broken, bits missing, whatever. We fix them up and they go to Tanzania and they're used to set up community groups. We also do up tools which aren't needed in Africa for sale, so that will pay for the shipping. Quite often we get given toolkits, perhaps somebody's passed away, and people really appreciate the thought that their toolkit, their father's toolkit, granddad's toolkit or whatever, is going to go and help support somebody else earn a living. I think people would much rather do that quite often than see tools either sold or ending up in the landfill.
The other kits we do are carpentry kits, blacksmith kits, building kits, tinsmith kits, bicycle mending kits. I think there's about 8 or 9 different kits altogether. We send those complete kits out to Tanga and Singida regions, and the workshop in Windsor prepares kits for the 4 regions around Lake Victoria, which is known as Lake Zone.
We send them to groups which our officers on the ground have previously visited, to make sure that they get the sort of machines they want, because there's no point sending an electric machine if they've got no electric. They're usually groups who have started tailoring and they have difficulty getting hold of machines. We supply them with machines, their group grows, they train more people, they get more, they get money themselves and can send their own children to school and that sort of thing, but they then teach more people that can set up more groups elsewhere. So without the machines, which they are really struggling for, their groups can't progress. And we've had groups that start off with 1 or 2 people, and you go back 10 years later, after we've given them tools, the group's got supporting 30 or 40 people. Because they've had it, they've now got to grow, and they've then got more money to be able to go, to move on to employ more people.
I was one of those people that if they broke a hammer, they went and bought a new hammer. And the old hammer sat on the shed floor at the back of the garage and probably eventually ended up getting just thrown out. So, I clean and mend my own tools now. I've learned a lot of skills that I didn't have before. So people are always very keen to help, either through buying something they want for their garden, or through just giving you a little bit of support, or passing on the word. And maybe months later they'll give you a call and say, "Oh, my neighbour's got a sewing machine I don't want anymore," and that word of mouth just spreads over the years. Really, it's all done predominantly by volunteers, with minimal overheads and maximum going to the good cause. And I think that's one of the things that attracted me and has kept me with TFSR. Very little waste, very little overheads, and very focused on the needs of the recipient group rather than on the needs of the charity.